Big chillin'. All right, anyways, mastering the delusion of abundance is something that you need to do in order to be successful. People are going to think you're delusional, right? When you're mastering this delusion. And that basically is like all the success, right? You tell somebody, "Oh, I want to make $1 million by 2026." They're going to be like, "What the fuck are you talking about?" Like, no fucking way. First of all, those aren't your friends. Get rid of them. Second of all, I feel like if you have these thoughts, you're already on the perfect path. So me and my friend Paul Keller were talking to somebody that we met just last week, and he's only 17 years old, and he's already starting to think like this. I thought like to myself, if I thought like this at 17 years old, I'll be a multimillionaire right now. Like I would have way more money and way more success. But that's beside the point. So you need to kind of get on that road of all that delusion of success. People are gonna call it delusion, and that's what I call it, but it's true delusion, right? Once you master these thoughts, right? Everything is an energy. Money is an energy. Success is an energy. Once you match these thoughts, you're just gonna start attracting it, right? That's how it works. You're gonna start attracting it. For example, I started making new friends that were kind of on the same path and they had the same mindset after I cut some friends off. Basically, it's an energy, right? Once you start thinking these things, you're going to attract things like that to you. That's how it works. The delusion of abundance is basically having all of these thoughts that regular people don't deem normal thoughts, right? They don't think it's normal, right? They're going to look at you and be like, no way you're going to make $1 million by next year. That's very much possible. Basically, thinking all of these successful thoughts and, you know, doing successful things, aligning with your successful self. And once you do this, you will attract things to you. You're going to attract much better things for your life. Basically, you are on the right path if you are thinking these thoughts, right? So you kind of need to be obsessed with self improvement, right? Once you become obsessed with self improvement, obsessed with success, obsessed with, attracting all of this money in the future, obsessed with just bettering yourself up here, out here physically. Once you become obsessed with these things, you're already on the right path, right? And that's how it works. Master those thoughts of success and self improvement, and you're going to go very far. Once you're on that path, it is so hard to let go of it because you're going to become obsessed with being successful, right? And that's a very, very good thing.